Hello friends and welcome. My name is Alyssa, founder of Inner Bloom Wellness, pregnancy and postpartum nutritionist, nutrition-led postpartum doula, and yoga instructor. I am so excited you are here for my very first class. I will go ahead and introduce my little pup, Honey. You will probably see her along this journey. I also have a black lab who is the cozy queen sleeping on the couch. Her name is Juniper. So if they trickle in throughout practice, we'll welcome it. So today's class is going to be an all levels, all trimester specific class. So in this course, we will be diving into the specifics of the physical body, the emotional body, nutrition for each trimester specifically. But today's class, because it is the first one that I am launching on here, we are going to move together today. So, props that you will need: a block or two. You can really use anything that is strong and sturdy about this height that you have at home. So this could be books, this could be cans. And then a second prop that you can utilize today is a yoga blanket. So you can use a pillow, you can use a couch blanket, anything that is going to help give some cushion to your knees. And we will be using it folded hot dog style across the mat. So let's dive in. We will start in a comfortable seat, fluttering eyes closed, spine tall, crown of the head reaching up towards the sky. Each vertebrae stacking one on top of the other, all the way down to sit bones grounding into the earth. And let's begin to elongate our breath, filling up body. Feeling that breath weaving up through the spine, reaching the crown of the head. And then on your exhales, that elongated breath weaving back down the spine, meeting your sit bones, softening your hips, your pelvis, rooting your body into the earth beneath you. And then let's slowly bring one hand to heart, one hand to belly, over our beautiful growing baby. And pause. Let us start practice by sending so much love, so much gratitude, so much grace to ourselves, navigating this beautiful journey, creating life, creating love, creating connection. Take a deep breath in, deep breath out. Let's begin to find a sway from side to side. You can leave hands where they are, or you can bring hands down by your thighs. Your eyes can stay fluttered closed to continue tuning inward, or you can begin to come into the space. Swaying side to side, opening up right and left side body. Creating space in between each left and right side rib. And then movement travels into shoulders, head, and neck. One thing that you will find in my practices that I will cue is moving primally. So letting go of judgment. Tuning in, wiggling in ways that feel good, and maybe it feels weird, unnatural, or actually so natural. My mistake. So natural. So wiggle how you need to wiggle. Move how you need to move. Then we will pause, holding a strong and steady center. On an in-breath, we flutter eyes open, sweep arms up overhead, reaching through your fingers, lengthening up through the armpits, softening the shoulders. Maybe you tilt chin slightly upward. On an exhale, we'll cactus the arms, open the heart. So in a prenatal class, we don't want to overarch and back bend here. We want a long, strong spine, tilt of the chin upward, and then to open up back body to get that sensation, we drop the shoulders and bring elbows back. Nice. I'm sure you feel the sensation down the neck, into the shoulders, maybe even into the fingertips. If you're with me, inhale, arms reach up overhead. On an exhale, we'll cast. Once you've taken it 2 times through, meet with hands on thighs and begin to take big circles with the hips. Moving as big and dramatically. This feels good in body. Beautiful. Then we switch the direction of the circles. Big and dramatic. Then we pause in through center. Arms sweep up overhead. Exhale, cactus. Reach it through center. Then hands to the mat. Let's set up for our next shape. So we will bring our 2 blocks towards the top of the mat, creating 11s out in front. Then we will find a tabletop position. Great place for a blanket underneath the knees, folded hot dog style across the mat. All right, so shoulders over wrists, fingertips spread wide, hips over knees, and let's take a sway from side to side. This helps open up the hips, the pelvis, the low back, but really truly it works full body. So we're getting into our shoulders, our head is heavy. Maybe you shake yes and no. Option 2, breathe in through the nose and vibrate lips together out for a round of horse lips. Nice. All right, then from here, let's pause. Tuck the back toes, slide right leg long. So you can pause here or rock forward and back. One thing that I will mention is that if you are on your wrists and they feel sticky at all or uncomfortable, tight, know that you can create fists and drive it into the mat. Creates more stability here. You can also take it down to your forearms, or third option, you can utilize blocks underneath hands. All right, know that all of those options are there for you. You can shift there anytime. Then let's pause here, energy through that right heel. On an exhale, we lift heel to a hover. Beautiful, long, strong spine. You might notice that when your heel lifts up, your belly dips under, your low back dips down. Can we create a slight tuck of the pelvis to support that long, strong spine? Beautiful. Now from here, let's bend to the knee and pulse up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Then we sweep that right knee out to the side. Open up the hips. And then take 3 circles one direction. 1, 2, 3. Then switch. 1, 2, 3. Sweep right knee open. Kickstand right toes out to the side. Ankle in line with hip. Then let's take it down to our forearms. Head hangs heavy. And we rock forward and back. Softening here. Opening up that low back, that inner thigh. Big, deep, vibrant breaths. Beautiful. We'll pause. Bring it back up to your palms. On an inhale, cat pose. Let's tuck chin into chest. Pelvis slightly tucks. Exhale, cow pose. Heart space shines through, pelvis tilts. Inhale, cat. Exhale, cow. One more round. Inhale, cat. Exhale, cow. Neutral spine, then we walk hands to hips. Those toes still facing the front of the mat, right toes. Arms sweep up overhead. On an exhale, we'll cactus the arms, open the heart. Reach it through center. Right hand to right thigh, left arm reaches, big side body stretch. Big deep in breath. On an exhale, give baby a hug, float it back to center, arms reach. Big cactus at the top. Reach back up through center. Hands back down to the mat. Okay, big deep in breath. On an exhale, we lift right toes and sweep all the way over to the left wide edge of the mat. Eye gaze sets back towards big toe. Big deep in breath. On an exhale, we lift and sweep open. So we want that bend in the knee, similar to that shape that we were in before, not a tapping knee to elbow. Beautiful. Let's bring it back to the left. Tap the toes. Big deep inhale. Exhale, lift and sweep open. Nice. One more round. Tap over to the left. Exhale, lift and sweep open. Beautiful. Back down to the mat. Let's wiggle it out, rocking from side to side. Option to take some figure eights, which are hips back to heels, one side, then back up and around. Taking big circles, the upper body just naturally follows, hence that figure eight winding shape. And then both sides, so we make it equal. Nice, then we will take it opposite side. So tabletop position. Tuck the back toes. Slide left leg long. Nice, rock forward and back. Option to bring it down to your forearms. Create fists. All of those mini adjustments mentioned before. All right. Then we pause. On an exhale, lift heel to a hover. We tuck the pelvis, long, strong spine. Then slowly bend the knee. Pulse for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sweep left knee out to the side. Open up the hip. 3 circles. 1, 2, 3. Switch. 1, 2, 3. Sweep it open. Kickstand left toes out to the side. Ankle in line with hip. Let's drop it down to our forearms. Rock forward and back. Softening head and neck. Big, deep, vibrant breaths. Nice movements. Feel that space being created. Pause. Then press back up on your palms. Inhale, cat pose. Chin tucks into chest, pelvis tucks. Exhale, cow. Inhale, cat. Exhale, cow. Inhale, cat pose. Exhale, cow. Nice neutral spine, hands to hips. Arms sweep up overhead through center. On an exhale, we'll cactus and open. Reach it back through center. Left hand to left thigh, right arm reaches, big side body stretch. And notice both hips here. We want them in alignment, opening up that side body, that shoulder, that top arm. Beautiful. Exhale, give baby a hug, bring it back to center. One more cactus at the top. Reach it back up. Then hands drop down to the mat slowly. With our left toes, we lift and tap. Over to the right. Eye gaze to big toe. Big deep in breath. On an exhale, we lift and sweep open. No tap. Then take it back over to the right. Big deep in breath. Exhale, lift and sweep open. Great. One more time. Tap over to the right. Exhale, lift and sweep open. Back down to the mat. Let's rock it out side to side, figure eights. Taking a moment for you. Maybe you find a restful shape in child's pose, knees wide, toes to touch in the back. Maybe it's a comfortable seat where I am, sip of water. And come back to those inhales and exhales. Okay. We will be bringing it into some bigger movements. But first, let's meet in a child's pose. So knees wide, toes to touch in the back, arms resting out in front. So know that this can be a child's pose, resting up on your arms. You can grab those 2 blocks, rest forearms on the blocks, let head hang heavy. Or you can take it all the way down. Make sure your forehead is grounding on something. We'll take 1 deep in breath, 1 deep out breath. Big inhale. Big deep exhale. Inhale deeply. Then on your exhale, walk both hands over to the left wide edge of the mat. Maybe you stack your palms one on top of the other, opening up right side body. Big deep inhale. Big deep exhale. In breath. Out breath. Beautiful. Walk it back to center. Then over towards the right. Big deep in breath. Big deep out breath. Inhale. Exhale. And then bring it back to center. Okay, keep your knees and toes where they are. Gently roll it forward, tabletop position. So from here, we will just find some rocking forward and back. So we are in an external rotation of the pelvis. You can find this on your back in a Supta Baddha Konasana. You can find this in tabletop, where we are now. And then you can also find this child's pose, yogi squat in a stand. So this external rotation creates lots of space in your low back, specifically your sacrum. Wonderful for opening back body, so navigating that low back pain, discomfort, even sciatica with this flossing out motion. Wonderful for navigating contractions as they are all happening along that back body area. However, the bottom of the pelvis is shifting inward. So not a wonderful birthing shape if you notice, because that's shifting inward. We are softening the pelvic floor muscles. So notice the softening here. And can you bring a softening breath all the way down? Beautiful. Let's pause. And then take its counter shape, knees together, feet wide. Feels kind of funky in body. But notice here, pause, then rock forward and back. So you can take this in different shapes on your back. You can take this in a tabletop position, standing. And so what's happening here? Keep rocking forward and back. The bottom of the pelvis is shifting outward, stretching those pelvic floor muscles from side to side. You might feel this as you sink hips back to heels, that your sit bones are reaching wide. So Let's practice here that big, deep, softening breath all the way down to pubic bone. Just practice for later. That knees together, feet wide is a birthing shape. So why not practice this now in body, how it feels, where you can soften. All right, then we pause. Bring knees and toes back to neutral. And now let's take our 2 blocks. Create 11s towards the top of the mat. And then bring hands to the blocks, shifting weight into the blocks. So what we will do is again practice that internal and external rotation of the pelvis with some leverage. So this is a great place to tuck the pelvis slightly. Notice that I'm not dipping. I'm creating that long, strong spine, but just shifting pelvis in. Working on that external rotation. Softening the pelvic floor. Great to practice this on blocks, on a couch, on the edge of a chair. Okay, then it's counter pose, knees together, feet wide. Wonky, rock forward and back. And you might notice that this is the most type B personality yoga class. You will be getting so many more of these dogs running around. There was just a spider on the floor earlier, so I was trying to shoo it away so it wouldn't wiggle onto my yoga mat. My goodness. The camera is not perfect. My hair is not perfect, not wearing makeup. This is what you're gonna get. All right, let's pause here, knees and toes neutral. Let's kickstand out, right leg out to the side. We've been here before. Rock forward and back, so much more space happening here. Remember that slight tuck of the pelvis. We don't want to exacerbate that low back area as baby is growing. There's more weight being bared on that low back, pelvis, low body area. So why not support it, create space? Nice. Take as many rounds of these as you would like. If you're with me, we'll pivot the toes to the right wide edge of the mat. Nice. If you notice here. Shift in and out. And you can be in this upper body position. Or you can send hands back down to blocks. Wiggling out the hips. And if this feels good, maybe you take some wiggles, moving intuitively. Just trying to open up and soften that lower body. Nice. Okay, then we'll pause when you're feeling complete here this side. Bring it back to neutral, knees together. Then we'll kickstand out left leg. Rock forward and back. Lots of space, tucking the pelvis. Nice. Then pause. Pivot left toes to the left wide edge of the mat. Deep bend in left knee. Rock from side to side. One thing I did not mention on that first side was we want to pause when our knee meets ankle. Our bodies are full of relaxin', especially as we get closer and closer to that third trimester. And so it can feel really wonderful and easy to get into those deep lungy stretches. But as mentioned before, as baby grows and there's more weight being bared in that midsection area, putting lots of pressure on the hips, pelvis, pelvic floor. That relaxant in the body and those deep stretches aren't necessarily always supportive. So we find stability and strength first in each shape, and stability and strength can simply just come from stopping when knee meets ankle. Sometimes it's pressing through the heel, sometimes it's flexing the glutes. Next shape, we'll explore that. Let's bring it back to neutral. And then we'll find hands on hips, long, strong spine. Get out any wiggles, maybe a sip of water. We'll pause here for that. Stay hydrated, my friends. And then weight on the left side, right foot steps forward. So we're in between the blocks. Hands to the blocks now. Floss it out. And notice here, I stop when knee meets ankle. All right, forward and back, we floss. And sometimes with these deep hip openers, we can find ourselves clenching the jaw, furrowing the brow. Let's soften the head and neck. Again, let's together, we're home. We're in the comfort of the home that we are in, not being judged, just being us. So let's do a round of horse lips, or 2 or 3. Breathe in through the nose. Vibrate lips together out. One more inhale. Exhale. Last one. Let's get silly. Inhale. Exhale. Beautiful. We'll ground right toes, pause, then begin to rise. So we press in through front heel, hug thighs in, flex the glutes, lighten this upper body as we reach through center. Beautiful, then exhale, cactus, avoid that back bend, just drop the shoulders, even taking that gentle assist, tapping the shoulders and bringing them down. Nice, arms reach. On an exhale, we flex front toes upward. Then send hips back, beautiful, hands to the blocks. Or if you would like more of a balancing shape, sweep arms back, palms face down, pinkies hug in. Nice, ground toes, one breath to movement. Inhale, exhale, maybe tap the shoulders. Inhale, reach. Exhale, sweep it back. Lovely, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last round, my beautiful yogis. Beautiful, ground hands to the blocks. And knees back together, wiggle it out, rock from side to side. So much about prenatal yoga is truly just creating space. Okay, let's pause. One last side to go, hands to hips. Then we step right to left toes forward, still mixing up rights and lefts, even out of a studio setting. How fun. All right, so we pause here, find that stability, hugging thighs, hugging glutes, bringing that left heel in towards the mat. Nice. Lightness upper body, then we floss it out. Noticing your knee, where it lands. You can always widen your stance or wiggle those front toes forward. Then once we feel complete, we will begin to move bigger shapes. Ground through front heel, hug thighs in lightness, upper body, Anjaneyasana. On an exhale, we cactus and open, maybe even tapping those shoulders. Reach it through center, moving slow. On an exhale, flex front toes upward, press through front heel, send hips back, hands to the blocks. Head falls heavy. Maybe you shake yes and no. Now one breath to movement, 3 times through. Inhale. Exhale. In breath. Exhale back. Maybe you sweep. Inhale. Exhale. Maybe you tap. And back, moving with your breath. No words for me this round, just breath. So strong. Hands to the blocks. Let's bring it back together. Wiggle it out. And now, let's find a hero's pose. So you can use 1 or 2 blocks underneath the sacrum, widest, lowest setting to support the pelvis. So here's 1. Here's 2. All right. And you can always come into a cross-legged shape. Sit bones grounding. We just want spine tall, shoulders soft. Let's bring shoulders up to ears. Exhale, roll shoulders down and back onto the spine. Let's take it 2 more rounds. Inhale. Exhale, slowing down the body. Last round. Beautiful. Let's tuck chin into chest. Elongating cervical spine, rock head from side to side. Then right ear will meet right shoulder. Find that sweet spot in your neck. Big deep in breath. Big deep out breath. 1 more inhale. 1 more exhale. Maybe you big circle sweep right arm over left ear with last breath in. Last breath out. Then bring it back into center. Eye gaze up to the sky. Open up the throat, front of the neck and shoulders. Continue to breathe. Then rock head from side to side. Eventually, left ear will meet left shoulder. Find that sweet spot in your neck. Big deep breath in. Deep breath out. 1 more inhale. 1 more exhale. Big circle sweep of left arm over right ear. Last breath in. And last breath out. Back to neutral, friends. Hands ground. Maybe you bring 1 hand to heart, 1 hand to baby once again. We'll seal practice with elongated exhale breath. So regulating the nervous system, really focusing in on that big deep breaths, clearing energy. So we will move through a round of 4-6 breath, then graduate to 4-8. If you're with me, flutter, eyes closed. Big breath in. Big vibrant breath out. Inhale for a count of 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 4. Exhale, 6. Inhale, 6. Exhale, 8. Inhale, 6. Exhale, 8. Inhale, 6. Exhale, 8. Vibrant in-breath. Vibrant out-breath. And if your hands are not there already, let's bring one hand to heart, one hand to baby. Find a gentle sway, rock from side to side. Softening body, softening mind. And once again, sending ourselves so much love, so much gratitude, and so much grace as we navigate each and every stage of pregnancy. All of the joyful moments, all of the challenge, all of the newness, embracing it with such grace, such confidence, and such bravery. Big deep in breath. Big deep out breath. We will float hands to heart center and meet over third eye. We will bow now to this beautiful practice. Thank you. Nor namaste. Thank you all so much for practicing with me this afternoon. More videos to come of full spectrum, any stage of pregnancy classes. We will dive into meditation, grounding tools, and lots more to come. Prenatal, trimester specific classes soon. Thank you all for joining me, and I hope to see you